May the words of my lips and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight. Amen. Trees. Trees are all around us. Even in the middle of a city, there are trees. Trees can have all sorts of meanings for us. At this time of year, when the first sign the buds are beginning to burst, trees are a sign of the season for us. At St. Catherine's, we have just taken down our Christmas tree at Candlemas. In the centre of Burbage, there is a very significant tree. After a quick look on the website Hinckley Past and Present, I found that what is now called the coronation tree was planted in 1953 to celebrate the coronation of Elizabeth II, who has just this year had her Platinum Jubilee, and I suppose so has the tree. It replaced an earlier tree, destroyed in a gale in 1952, which was planted in 1897 and was known as the Victorian Jubilee tree. One meaning this tree has for us, that I have seen, is that it is a focal point for the community, a sign of the seasons, the light switch on in particular. Trees have meaning. In our reading from Jeremiah, we heard about two meaningful trees. The first is the shrub in the desert. Those who trust in mere mortals are like a shrub in the desert that lives in the parched places of the wilderness in an uninhabited salt land. There is a shrub which grows near the salty Dead Sea. It has large, flat green leaves, purple flowers, and a large, gnarly green fruit. Imagine walking in the desert with no food, no water. Even the lake water is undrinkable. And then you see this tree laden with fruit. You pick one, it fills your hand. You take a bite and it bursts in a puff in your face. The inside is hollow and filled with seeds and silky threads, a bit like a dandelion. There is no flesh to the fruit at all, and the skin oozes a milky sap which is bitter to the taste. Over time, the sap turns into a glue, which even if you had water to wash in, is resistant to soap. Something which looked so attractive, which looked like it would meet our deepest needs, is actually, at best, hollow, and at worst, harmful to eat. This is what it is like to trust in mere mortals. There is an idea common in our society, so part of the air that we breathe, that we probably barely even notice it, and may find it hard to think any differently. It goes something like this. There is no one single meaning in life. The meaning of life for every human that has ever lived, determined for us all by a creator, as part of some cosmic plan. The universe is here by chance, without design or meaning or purpose. It is up to each of us to discover meaning for ourselves, and there are many things which give meaning to our lives. It could be a hobby, or a political cause, or a career, or a relationship, or all of these things at once, which give meanings to our lives. The things that give meaning to our lives will be different for each one of us. For one, it could be painting. For another, it could be becoming a tennis champion. We are all individuals, and so our meaning will be individual to us. If this view had an anthem, it would be John Lennon's Imagine. And I shall find it hard to quote this without breaking into song. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for the day. I don't know about you, but in common with many, if not most people, I find this a deeply attractive view. Hobbies and causes and careers and relationships and painting and tennis are all good things. And this view says that we can enjoy those good things, and we know that that is right, that's true. This view also says that we are unique individuals, and we know that that is right also. But as Jeremiah tells us, the human heart is deep beyond all understanding. It is unfathomable beyond all things. Some things that are attractive to the heart, things that entice it, are in fact hollow and full of air. When trouble comes, real desperate trouble, the heat, the time of drought, the fruit of such a view cannot sustain us. In the time of crisis, the house of cards falls flat. It may even poison us, causing us to dwell in the land where no one dwells, alienating us from human relationships, isolating us from true connection with other people. But there is another tree in the desert, a tree that is like those who trust in the Lord, who can enjoy the good things in life, hobbies and causes and careers and relationships and painting and tennis, not as things that give meaning in themselves, but as good gifts from God, given to help us to attain the aim for which we were created, which is the praise and reverence and service of God. This tree is planted by water, nourished by the stream of God's life. Its leaves stay green at the toughest drought. In the time of crisis, it is nourished by the meaning and purpose for which we were created. In Ethiopia, there are Coptic churches which were built in what was once forest. The land owned by the church, around each building, contained forest. Over the last 100 years, 90% of Ethiopia's forests have been cut down. But the chainsaws could not touch the trees that were on church land. As deforestation has led to soil erosion and desertification, the view from the plain shows little islands of green, each with a church in the middle, scattered across a barren landscape. Now, as population expands, new churches are being built, and so new forests need to be planted, or rather, replanted. The Ethiopian church forests help us to visualize Jeremiah's tree planted by water. In the land where no one dwells, where interpersonal relationships and a sense of community are fragmenting, our churches can be like trees in the desert, covered with leaves that stay green. This vision offers hope, but also a challenge. Our churches are not always places of safety and refreshment. Many of us need healing after an experience of a toxic church culture. The challenge is to make the church a place of refreshment, which can offer firm and lasting meaning. After all, this is what all people are looking for, both the shrub in the desert and the tree planted by the stream. Both need the same thing. The shrub produces hollow fruit to conserve water which the tree by the stream has in abundance. It is true that we are all individuals, but we are also just like one another. There is no room for us and them. We all want the same thing. We all want the refreshment and nourishment that only a lasting meaning can give, a meaning which comes from outside of ourselves and which can survive the heat and the drought of whatever life gives us. My prayer is that St. Catherine's would be a place of refreshment for all, a place where everyone can give thanks to God for the good gifts they have been given and can discern how best to use them for the praise and glory of God.